Zach, thanks. The boys are in. Skinny, you and you.
Yes.
Pelfrey and Caleb Miller are joining us as well. Gentlemen, who's shocked by what they saw today? Skin, I'll let you start.
Well, I don't think it's shocking. I mean, Jacksonville's not a very good football team. The interesting part, though, is thanks to the missed extra point, Marvin has to go for it. Think about this. He probably would have kicked to go to overtime. Instead, he has to go for it. It ends up being a great move, and they end up winning the football game. It is a strange league, and you know what? And nothing surprises you week to week anymore. It really doesn't.
You weren't surprised, although you thought Jacksonville might pull this one out.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was pretty close. I figured the game would be not maybe this close, but Jacksonville is, a horrible offense, and Cincinnati's pretty good defense. And, the way it ended up at the end, it was kind of crazy, kind of a battle of field position, and just Jacksonville just didn't have good things go their way, and Cincinnati capitalized when they needed to.
These are questions that the media asks that I know that we get enamored with and I hate, but I'll ask it anyway. Did the Bengals win this, or did Jacksonville lose it, Doug?
In the NFL, you win games. People don't just give you games. I think, you hear Skinny, he's talking about how every team in the NFL is bad except for like 3.
It's true, though. Look around the league, it's true.
Every time we win a game, it's like, they're just a bad team.
They are.
We're not great. At the same time, we are not the worst team in the league anymore.
But there are coaches that will tell you that teams lose games more than they win games in the NFL. I'm not telling you it's right, but you hear coaches say that a lot.
See, the whole thing is about finishing. This team is learning how to finish,
Agreed.
and I know that this will change all of your answers except for probably Doug's the eternal optimist. Our poll question tonight, how many games will they win? Is it going to be 4 to 6, 7 to 9, or 10 or more? And I know you were on the low end of the spectrum as you started.
I was below the 4 to 6 spectrum before it started. I'll go 4 to 6, but on the high end. This team now can win certainly 6 games, if not maybe 7, but I can't take that next jump to the 7.
So you're only giving them 3 more games right now.
The hard part of the schedule is still ahead, but they're taking advantage of what they need to take advantage of right now, and that's beating teams they should beat.
Do you remember where you were?
I said 5 to 6, and I'll give them one more, but I can't really say 6 to 7. That's the poll question.
Yeah, that's right. I want to say that too. I'm with you.
So you either got to go to the low end of the spectrum or the middle.
I'll be optimistic. I'm up there working with them this year, so I'm going to say 7 to 9.
I'm rubbing off on these guys.
Doug said 9 and 7.
I thought one more.
I said 9 and 7. I think y'all expected me to say 14 and 2, but I think 9 and 7. So I think we'll be all right. I think we can get 9 and 7.
How good is this quarterback? Because the team feeds off a quarterback. Andy Dalton's numbers aren't spectacular, but Andy Dalton figures out a way to win. Pelf, I'll start with you on this.
I like him. I think the guy's a good quarterback. He's a good leader. He's a gamer. He's somebody that you want the ball to be in his hands at the end of the game, and he's done well the last several weeks.
Caleb?
I've been impressed by Dalton. I didn't expect much from him at all, really, for the season, the way he started. He's done a good job. Everybody knows and has seen his poise and the things he's done. But the main thing is the mistakes he's made as a rookie haven't caused them really to just implode as I thought they might. And so he's been able to make
many
up
rookie
for it.
quarterbacks do.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think the mistakes don't cause him to implode. That's the biggest part. I mean, he threw that pick today, and it could have really been devastating. He could have hung his head. You know what he did? He made a tackle to save a touchdown. It led to only a field goal. That's 4 big points. Big difference in that football game. And I think the one thing he also can do is he can extend plays that Carson couldn't. Now, I'm not here to tell you he's Carson Palmer yet. He's not even close. But he does extend plays. Carson couldn't do that very often.
Caleb, tell me about the defensive adjustments on this. This team runs up and down the field on the first drive. They didn't expect that. Jones-Drew ran over everybody. They even admitted they got some things they didn't expect. Talk about the defensive adjustments and how they held this team down after that.
We were talking about this earlier, and in the first drive, there were a lot of cut blocks thrown, a lot of guys on the ground that I saw in the first drive. And when that happens, usually if you think a guy's going to come out and cut you, you can adjust to that pretty quick as a defender. And if they try it again, it's not going to work really for the rest of the game. It's kind of your best shot scenario. Jacksonville gave them their best shot on the first drive, and they were able to at least adjust to those kind of blocks. And that was the main thing I saw on the open plays in the first drive was those cut blocks. And that's really easy to adjust to as a defense.
Doug, special teams, is this team at an advanced level, or are they simply consistent enough that you're okay with where they are?
I think they're consistent. They're getting good kicking out of their kickers. Both Nugent as well as Huber are both hitting the ball really well. I think they won the game today, I think, in the form of field position. I know Nugent had the missed extra point, but he's been solid all year.
I talked to Nugent on the plane. He wasn't even exactly sure, but you think you saw something in what happened?
To me, watching it on TV, it looked like his hip sank, looked like he was out in front of the ball. So even if there was no wind, the ball would have gone out and then kind of veered to the right. But with that kind of wind over accentuates what you do wrong. So if you have a bad drop on punts, you're going to really have a bad drop. And he missed it a little bit right, and it just took it and went way right.
That's kickers. Let's talk about
AJ
Green.
Exactly.
Before we get to AJ Green, I want to talk about Bernard Scott. good call at the end on this? I mean, it works, so you have to say yes.
Yeah, it was a great call. I mean, the execution of it was great. The design of it was great. You know, you in theory had your pass guys in there at that point in time, and you know, you didn't have your pounder in there, so maybe you caught Jacksonville off guard a little bit. And the fact Leonard goes one way, Bernard goes the other, it was a great design and great execution.
All right, before we get to the A.J. Green, I want to talk about Bernard Scott and Corey Dillon, because Corey chirped again a little bit this week. He wants the ball.
Cedric Benson, same guy.
What did I say?
Corey Dillon, it's the same thing.
Oh my
You're right.
goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Wow, is there a flashback?
Trust me, they will confuse you like that.
Holy cow, no, he's not quite that.
No, he's not that. You're right.
Is this okay to get more Bernard Scott to go along with Sid Benson?
Yeah, I think as long as he doesn't take his his equipment off and throw it up in the stands like Corey did. But yes, I think
Wow, I
he
can't
just
believe
wants
I
the
did
ball.
that.
He's a competitor. I don't want to hear him saying it, but at the same time, he does want the ball, which is good. So.
All right, we're not going to get to A.J. Green because I'm out of time because I screwed up the whole Corey Dillon thing. I'll start with you. Do they win against Indianapolis?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Caleb?
I think they should win a game, but Indianapolis has kind of proven they're more dangerous than people think.
And yet they still lost.
Yeah,
They did,
and
and
they still
that's the
lost.
thing. Yeah, they're getting much better, but they still lost, and I think they walk out of here still winless.
How about that? These guys are saying, all three of them, that the Bengals will go to 4-2. Zach?